everybody. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back. We appreciate you all so much. We are on episode 238. And while we're still in the midst of doing Vapor Trails, almost done with that, this episode is on best lyrics not written by Neil. And we have a great panel. We have Viv, we have Preston, we have Derek, and we're going to talk about, we're going to give our top three, talk about why we chose them. But before we do that, I just want to say, if you like the content, like, subscribe. It helps us. We appreciate that so much. Tip us on Ko-fi because, that also helps us continue to do what we do. The link is in the description to look at that. And also look at our sponsors. Also in the description, the links and everything for our sponsors. We want you to check them out, and we appreciate that so much. So what we're going to do tonight is list the three top songs lyrically not written by Neil. Now, we're only going to look at Rush albums. As we talked about this, should we include the solo records? We decided no, because, well, Neil probably wouldn't write lyrics for the solo albums. These are Rush lyrics, not written by Neil. Also, not Rush lyrics written by Neil and by Dubois, Talbot, and whatnot. So these are strictly songs that Neil had nothing to do with the lyrics, right? So that does limit the choices, yeah? What are our choices? Well, obviously, the whole first album. Neil wasn't in the band yet, but that's still a Rush album, so that counts. Fly By Night, Best I Can, lyrics written by Geddy. In the End, lyrics by Ged and Al. 2112, Lessons by Alex Lifeson. Tears by Geddy. A Farewell to Kings, Cinderella Man, written by Geddy. And finally, Different Strings, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. I might have given a hint as to my choices. Also written by Geddy. So, distinguished panel, what do you have? Viv, go.
From the first album, I'm gonna do Take a Friend. It's symbolic.
Like that.
It's Dirk. It's lurks. It's Dirks. It holds truth to today. It's solid, and it symbolizes what they are. And I love that song. And
That's
I
outstanding.
do it
I
on
love
Twitter
that.
all the time, and I love it. And it's a good feeling song. Next choice
Right on.
is going.
Right on. Right on. Love it.
I'm gonna do you're gonna do Different Strings, but I'm gonna do Different Strings also. Different hearts see different things. It shows how differences can come together, and there is always somebody. The lyrics from those years mean more now than they ever did. It's a very strong song. People still go to it. I think it's a beautiful song.
You're right.
I'm gonna go with Working Man. Working Man is symbolic. Working Man is an anthem. To me, Working Man kind of became Neil's song because they did it so much live. But it's Geddy and Alex. It's what they strived for when they first started, and what the hard work, and it lasted from day one to day infinity. It's still as strong as it was in the beginning, and I still play them all.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Terrific. Preston.
All right.
What do you got?
So this isn't in any particular order, but my choices are Tears, particularly A Lifetime of Questions, Tears on Your Cheek. I tasted the answers and my body was weak, for you the truth. I think that's a really beautiful message on the scenario going on between, I think, what would be two lovers. A lifetime of questions. They're constantly wondering about their love for each other because they don't know for sure. And as one of them starts to fade away, I tasted the answers. I think that is like they kissed and their tears confirm their truth about their love for each other. And I just think that that lyric in particular is really beautiful and very symbolic. So my second
I would love to
choice.
have you in one of my philosophy classes
Oh,
just for
really?
what you just said. Yes, that's awesome. Sorry, go
um,
ahead.
Next up is lessons and sweet memories. I never thought it would be like this, reminding me, oh, just how close I came to missing. I know that this is the way for me to go. I think that's a perfect lyric for uh, early Rush because they very much could have had no career at all, but they kept going for it and they kept striving for perfection and they ended up getting there and they were a thing for 40 years. So I think Alex perfectly reflected their early days on that.
It's like Alex perfected making memories from Fly By Night, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
sweet memories. Yeah.
Um, and finally, I had to do it is different strings. So it's an entire verse. I'm not going to say the entire verse, but it's the what happened to our innocence verse. And I think that can symbolize how people can start to grow apart. And the more time they spend with each other, they recognize the good and the bad within each other. And they have to either choose to accept it or reject it. And even though they have different views, they can still come together and, all such things agree. So those are my choices.
Excellent. Excellent. Love it. Derek.
All right, so for my first one, I had to go with Lessons, the sole main Alex Lifeson song. To me, when I listen to this one, it reminds me of Beyond the Lighted Stage when Alex is watching an old video of him when high school days, arguing with his parents. And this song is like his rebellion song against his parents, and he wants to be a musician. And that fits with the whole entire theme of the 2112 album. So I always like that. And the way Geddy sings those words, it's fantastic. And I had to go with In the End, Fly By Night classic. I love this one. It's almost like Neil wrote it, actually. But what I really like about it is the dichotomy. Again, it's like a relationship, something that Neil would write about and spend upon in the future. But I also see it as something as like maybe a Forrest Gump situation. Someone that's not fully mentally there. He feels the emotions, but he doesn't feel them coming on just yet. It takes him a little while longer than, say, a normal, fully capacity mentally person. That always stuck in my brain. And then the third one, I want to go with Best for Last, Different Strings. I mean, you guys summed it up best. I feel like Geddy was kind of on the sidelines while Neil's writing all these great songs, and he kind of took notes. Because feels to me almost like a Neil pen track, but also has that Geddy flair to it. Something like a Cinderella Man that only Geddy could write.
Totally.
Geddy
is
does some
terrific.
pretty damn good writing. He really has some beautiful, beautiful thoughts, and they came out in his book. But he started early. He knew what he was doing.
The two songs from the My Favorite Headache sessions that he released with the book, they are brilliant. They're just amazing.
They're so deep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Geddy was like fine with letting Neil take that, duty, right? I think of Black Sabbath and Geezer, who wrote all the lyrics for Black Sabbath, was so happy that Ronnie would write lyrics so he could have a break from that. But Ged's lyric writing ability is so good. It's so good. Different strings. If you didn't know better, it sounds like something a mind like Neil would write.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so awesome. Okay, so my choices. Um, different strings. We just talked about it,
It
right?
is.
Everybody has chosen different
Yeah.
strings. Differences, different hearts beat on different strings. I think of the sphere kind of dream from hemispheres. We can walk our road together. That's almost like a Neil theme that Geddy took on, and how, um, yeah, we don't always agree, but that's kind of okay, and we can still live together. man, what an important message in today's climate. Great song. I listen, and of course, I love Alex's solo at the end and how grungy it gets, and one of my faves. Tears, because it's just beautiful. What a beautiful song. Uh, yeah, and I love Preston how you brought in the idea of you focused on taste. I tasted the answers, right? It's kind of like this experience of um, again, I'm a nerdy philosopher, so embodied life. We experience life, through our senses and things like that. And
Mhm.
it's deep and meaningful, so deep and meaningful. I don't want to compare it to Cold Fire, but it's that same kind of struggle
It does.
in relationships, right? Powerful. And then I got to go with Working Man too. Why? I grew up in industrial Indiana. You know, my father worked in a factory, working class background. That song resonated. Those lyrics spoke, right? It may not be the poetry of different strings, but it is a poetics of life experience of so many people. So, absolutely great song. Again, you can't put these in order. There's no wrong choice. I loved In the End. Was that you, Derek, or
Yeah,
Preston?
that was mine.
Eric, okay.
Derek.
The reason I love In the End, that was the first song I ever learned to play on guitar in fifth grade. I didn't play it right, but still, uh, yeah, that was the song. All right, so this has been great. We have a little time. Do we have some honorable mentions? Viv, you got one?
Um, Best I can. I do the best that I can. That's just what I am. Take it, leave it. This is who we are, and this is what we do.
Reaching for the
They worked
stars.
with
May not get to the stars, but I'll try anyway. And they got there. He would have never known that when he wrote that lyric.
they
Yeah.
wrote very emotional. You might not realize it, but Geddy and Alex did write very emotional songs back then.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Their life experiences.
Yeah. They
think
were
the
plugged into life.
I think the lyrics are sometimes overshadowed by the feel-good music of those songs.
Absolutely.
That's a good
Absolutely.
point.
Those songs in particular are kind
Mhm.
of Alex. Geddy and Alex together on the stage, doing what they do, running around, making everybody nuts. Yeah, you're right.
Hitting those power chords.
Yeah.
Yeah. Derek, honorable mention.
I had to go with Tears for Mine. Just the beauty of the lyrics. Again, it sounds something like in that Neil kind of vein, but you can somewhat tell a little bit that it's Geddy if you didn't read the liner notes. 2112. I just always love that song with the Mellotron, and it's something a little bit different. The guys never really delved into that much, that ballad territory. Just fantastic.
Excellent. My honorable mention is Lessons. One, got to give a little love to Alex. Right? And it's a fun song, and it's a very serious song. And then, that idea that we learn from others, we learn lessons, and then we become teachers, right? And then again, I think I said it earlier. What a great solo! What a great outro, to that song. So cool.
All those words hit us today. All those words mean so much today,
Absolutely.
more than they ever did.
That's what I love about Rush so much, and I've said it on other episodes and roundtables that we've done, is you go back, they were kids in their early 20s, young adults.
Mhm.
And you read Close to the Heart and you go, yeah, that's pretty much what we need today. It's like
Yeah,
their songs keep speaking again
yeah,
and again,
yeah.
You
and
know,
obviously mostly it was Neil,
mhm.
but Get and Al's lyrics too continue to do that. So
Farewell to
awesome.
Kings. Look at nowadays.
Well,
For,
we won't go there, though we want
No,
to.
no. As a song.
Yeah.
For my honorable mention, I mean, I definitely agree with Best I Can. I think that's a good one, but I have to go with Working Man because it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Preston. I thought my
No
bad.
worries, no worries.
Yeah.
I think Working Man because again, it's still relevant today, and also that song reflects the stardom of Rush. You know, without that song, they probably wouldn't have gone where they did. And you know, of course, we have Donna to thank for that. But
Great. Big shout out to Donna Halper.
mhm. You know, without that song, I don't think their career would have been what it was. So I think that song needs to get some love.
Yeah. I love the Mercury release of the first album where they say, thanks to Donna Halper for getting the ball rolling. Yeah. So cool.
And In the Mood is a fun song too. You got to give a little bit of kudos to
In the
That
Mood
is lyrical
some
silly,
genius.
but it's a fun, happy laugh song.
Yeah.
Lyrical
Rush
genius.
does Leonard
right there.
Skinner.
What's that?
A Rush does Leonard Skinner.
I never thought about that before, but now I can't not with that. And one that I almost mentioned, since we're doing good on time, I'll just add something. I really, really wanted to mention Here Again.
Mhm.
It's bluesy, it's heavy, it's emotion, like you said. I think. Viv.
The way Geddy sings it is unreal, out of this world.
Mhm.
Good
I
stuff.
wish they would have played that one live.
Yeah, you're
I
not
love to
kidding.
have heard that live.
You're not kidding.
Yeah. Every time I drop the needle on that record and that song comes up, whatever I'm doing, I have to stop. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just gonna be on that song.
Mm-hmm.
So good. And Alex's guitar playing. Wow.
It's amazing how proficient they were lyrically and musically at such a young age. I mean, they were 23 when they wrote 2112. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, I think of what I was doing at 23, and that was pretty much listening to 2112. Couldn't do what they did. So, yeah. And there's so many young musicians today that have those chops, and it'd be great if the music industry would actually give them a chance, you know. So, anyway, outstanding. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. If you like, subscribe. Again, you can tip us on Ko-fi. Look at our vendors, our own merch. It's all in the description just below here. And I just want to thank Viv, Preston, and Derek for some really great stuff. Really great picks. What are your picks for the 3 best lyrics not written by Neil? Put them in the comments. We'd love to hear it, love to discuss. And until then, we'll see you next time, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Peace out.